OK, it's time for our regular point-to-point update that we do every Saturday on the Full SP Preview. And Tiggy Vale-Titterton joins me on Zoom. Tiggy, how are you?
Hi, Angus. Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Good to see you. Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. How are things in the point-to-point world?
Yeah, great. We're really picking up some speed now. So we were at Wadebridge and Ampton last weekend, and then we've got 4 fixtures this weekend. So yeah, we're really gaining momentum now as we get right into the season.
Very important to remember that the point-to-point scene is a real breeding ground for young horses, isn't it?
It is, yes. But also, you know, we've got different angles, and I think it'd be quite nice if we have a quick look at Wadebridge last weekend at the restricted race. So horses that run in restricteds have broken their maidens pointing, but they're, you know, still looking to gain an education in similar company. So if we just take a look at the horse who's making a bit of ground here on the outside, he was actually right out the back from 4 out, and this is Tourmaline under Darren Andrews for John Hurd. And actually ran a bloody great race, came second overall. And then the winner we've got for Emma Summersby, which was Clonagoose. And this horse won a maiden back in December, and then obviously goes on to win there. I think Ed Vaughan really quite enjoyed that win, actually. He's had a couple this season, and he's really making a name for himself in the pointing field. But, you know, you said there about maidens, you know, coming through and, you know, we're breeding ground for under rules. But we've also got lots of different areas. I think it's quite nice to look at that race today because, you know, you've got horses that have maybe been over in Ireland pointing and have come over here and, you know, found a new tune with a new trainer. And then you've got obviously horses that will remain in point-to-pointing all the way through. And then you've got the horses that come back round to kind of teach the younger riders the ropes and live out their twilight years, really, in a slightly slower pace kind of environment. And then you've got horses that kind of drop back into pointing to kind of regain that sparkle, and then they'll head back under rules again. And I actually spoke to Emma Summersby, the winner of that race, Clonagoose, and she said, you know, he will stay pointing for now, climb through the ranks. So that will mean basically he won his maiden, he's won a restricted now, he can now run in a restricted again under a penalty, he has an age allowance, and then an intermediate, open, and so on. She did say, however, if he remains being a bit of a superstar, there's potential for him to go under rules. So, you know, it's really nice looking at all these angles there, and he made up the second part of a double on the day for Emma. Harry Neal rode his horse, Hidden Heroics, and had another win as well. I think he's 2 from 2 now. So, yeah, it's really nice seeing all these different angles of racing kind of come through. And actually this week, I went into Josh Newman's and met El Capitan and saw him in the flesh, and he's a really good example of this. He was a horse that Josh had last season, you know, never really found his tune, and Josh managed to win 7 points on the trot. He's now back under rules with Kaylee. He won straight back out his first hurdle at Newton Abbott, and then, you know, was 4th in great company at Cheltenham, 3rd on Boxing Day at Wincanton in the Pretemps qualifier, and, you know, he's now rated 119. He's going places, and it's really nice to see that, you know, we've got that angle to pointing as well as the young horses. So yeah, it was really good. Another one actually sort of doing that was at Ampton last weekend. There was a horse, Jorah, for Alan Hill. Alan Hill is the king of this, really. He picks up horses sort of rated 95 to 100, and, you know, he really finds that tune with them. And this Jorah horse, it's another interesting story. If you read Claire Hart's Grassroots from this week, Lottie Covell, who owns the horse, actually bought him out of Skelton's for her son. He's obviously a really nice schoolmaster, although being a maiden, you know, he's been done properly at Skelton's, and they, you know, because he's a maiden, she thought she'd put James King on for a couple of rides, just, you know, just to ensure that everything's going smoothly, and then Louis will pick up the ride going forward. So, yeah, it's nice. We do have, you know, that angle of producing the horse of tomorrow for under rules, but we've really got that angle going for other things and all sorts of areas. So it's nice to use our sports for everything, really, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember that good horses remain in the point-to-pointing scene, and that's what keeps it so strong.
Exactly. And this weekend, we've actually got some record entries. So obviously we've got the 4 fixtures. So today we're at Revesby Park. They have the Jockey Club sponsored 0 to 110 rated race. Across the whole weekend, we've got over 320 entries, which is about 250 horses. So it's really, really exciting. And then tomorrow we are up north at Friars Hoff. They have the first of the Hands and Heels races. So this is sponsored by the Jockey Club and the Point to Point Authority. And we're really looking forward to these. Unfortunately, we lost the first one due to the cold weather at Lark Hill. But, the Point to Point Authority wants to educate these riders. We're giving free jockey coaching lessons to all first-year riders this year. And it's just good to be able to trial new things in the grassroots of the sport. So obviously being Hands and Heels over chase fences, a lot of people have their opinions on that, but we're trialling it. The whip can be used for safety purposes. And actually this is a series that can give more of the hobby riders, I suppose, a bit of something to chase. There's an award at the National Awards, and they can get right involved with this point scoring system of the Hands and Heels race, whilst educating, honing their skills. So yeah, it's a really nice little addition. Then we've got the rearranged fixture at Sheriff Hutton taking place tomorrow, which holds the fourth leg of the GB Pointing Bonus Young Horse Maiden Series. Tomorrow, sponsored by Tatterstalls Cheltenham. And a little something in there, I suppose. You've got Thomas Easterby, who's saddling his first runner as a trainer. He's also taking the ride. And then finally, we are at Lark Hill as well for their artillery meeting. And they have a cracking open, lined up, mixed open, 15 entries. You've got El Casparo, which is a high-class pointer for Josh Newman, entered, obviously Gavin Cromwell. Crawter, who's trained not far from the course, he won at the May Hunter Chase evening at Cheltenham. Douglas Longbottom, he also won at the Cheltenham Hunter Chase. And that's another horse, actually, that has used pointing to climb the ranks. One is maiden, restricted, and so on. And then, obviously, all the way up to Hunter Chasing now and running in these cracking mixed opens. And, yeah, really is going to be a fantastic race tomorrow. So, yeah, a bit jealous we're not there. Claire and I are heading up north to Sheriff Hutton tomorrow. So, I'm sure I'll be interested to see how that mixed open unfolds at Lark Hill.
Great stuff. Lots to enjoy this weekend. Tiggy, enjoy your trip there. And you're a great advert for the sport. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Angus. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you.